Okay, yes, we are doing another corset video. Listen, I am always going to try to put other ideas in between and do other videos, but I think I'm always going to return to making corsets at some point every couple/few months. But they're the videos that you guys enjoy the most, and they're the ones that I usually enjoy the most. So like, why would I deprive both of us of having fun? I have made so many corsets, and yet my mind always wants more. It's becoming an obsession.
Here we go, yeah.
When you are watching this video, it will be the first day of September. Finally. I know that fall doesn't technically start until like late September. I don't care. I've already started watching like Halloween movies, fall movies. I've already started like celebrating fall and Halloween. I thought it'd be a really fun idea to kind of say goodbye to summer by making a summer inspired corset and a fall inspired corset, just to say goodbye to hot weather. Be gone forever. And I thought it'd be fun to do them in two different styles. So I have two time periods that I'm going to be inspired by. One of them is the short stays of the very early 1800s, and the second is a pair of bodies from like the Renaissance Tudor time period. Oh, actually, this was that apron. I decided to lace it up, and I really like it. It's not tight, but it's slightly more fitted, and that is what I wanted. I didn't want it to be tight, and I think it looks really cool. Thank you guys so much for giving me your all's opinions in the comments. Super appreciate it. With that, let's get started. Okay, so let's discuss design. So for this little beautiful pink floral, I'm thinking more of a Regency inspired, mostly inspired by the very early short stays. I think with the length that these are, that just works the best. This, first of all, it is not self-lined to where both sides are the same. It instead has white on the inside, and I've kind of been debating, but I think it's best. I think I'm going to make this reversible. I think this would make a really nice foundation garment sometimes. Is that going to cause me more work? Yes. I'm not excited about that, but I think it'll be worth it. I also need to add interfacing. It's just the two fabrics, so it needs a little bit more stability. This one is not gonna have that much boning. It's probably just only gonna have boning at like the seams. So, pattern. I finally just decided to buy this pattern. I've been wanting it for a while and just haven't bought it, but I've been making a lot of corsets recently, and I just thought it was worth it. We are going to be using this design as the basis for both corsets. So I think that'll be fun to kind of see how much the two corsets can look different. By the way, I'm calling them corsets because I'm not making them historically accurate. Even though the second pair would be called a pair of bodies and this would be called a pair of stays, I'm just going to be calling them corsets. I think that's easier. But if you just wanted to know that I knew that they wouldn't really be called corsets in the time period, I do know that. I'm just doing this to like save time. So the changes I'm going to be making to this, I think what I'm going to do, I want the shoulder straps to be like this, but I like this style more. So I think I'm going to just do this one and then try my best to just cut these straps, cut them for the pattern. And then what I'll do is I'll put it together, and then I will take some darts out and cut those out and then add gores back in. Yes, I'm doing this the fastest and best way. I know I am. Because at the time, they added gores into, you can see these little V sections, darts, gores, I think they're called gores. And I'm assuming that's because they just took their stays from the 18th century and added those in to get more of an early 1800s shape. That's my assumption. So I'm going to kind of retrofit that and make this first and then go in and put those gores in. I can't think of any other way to do it without me having to draft something, and I just don't feel like it. I want this to kind of be as fun and simple as possible. So let's get started. Finally.
So first I had to see the best way to fit my pattern pieces onto the fabric. And before starting, I actually did some organizing of this pattern. I know, so unlike me. But since there are so many options, I broke it up A through D so I could easily find the style I wanted. I separated the back pieces into top and bottom parts because there was no good way to fit it all onto the placemats, and this actually ended up working pretty well. Okay, so, I don't have mine. You're just gonna have to live with the echo for a second, hold on. Before I do any of the cutting out of the interfacing and ironing that together, I'm gonna go ahead and put the back pieces together. That will lessen the amount of interfacing that I have to have. And I just have to think it through less, and it will make it less chunky. Why did I say it like that? It will make it less chunky for the seams, in between the seams, if that makes sense. Anyway, and then we'll get on to cutting out the interfacing, putting on the interfacing, and then we can actually get to putting the whole thing together. Cool. I cut out interfacing for all the pieces since this fabric needed a bit more structure, trimmed out those seam allowances, and ironed it on. Honestly, I don't quite remember how I sewed the front and back together while they were still attached. Sorry, I have a bad memory, but I do know that the last seam I had to top stitch, and I should have definitely made that the back seam so that the front seams would look nice. And here you can see how incredibly graceful I am. It was then time to take out the front darts. Now this ended up being a little too far to the side, but it kind of ended up working out. I don't know, you'll see in the end. I then made the godets? Oh no, I didn't look up how, hold on. I'm gonna look up how to pronounce this really fast, hold on. Godet. Okay, I think that's correct. Godet. Godet, oh my goodness. And finally, I sewed extra lines for the boning and put the boning in. And how do you cover up mistakes in sewing? Slap some trim on it. Yes, some of my seams were pretty wonky, so I just put some trim on both sides to make it look a bit prettier. I also think it just adds some nice detail, so it all worked out in the end. Lastly, it was time to top stitch the top edge together. Wow, that was hard to say. And look at the absolute death trap this ended up being. And it wasn't much better to sew it because I kept accidentally poking myself with the pins. We are now going to start working on the second corset. Now, this was a table runner that I thrifted recently, and I just think it has the prettiest fabric, and it gives such like strong fall, even like wintry vibes, and it's also very long. So my hope is that I can get actually 2 different corsets out of this. Hopefully, we'll see. I'm going to use the same pattern, but I'm going to change it a little bit to fit more of a Tudor inspired corset. I think the things I'll change is the neckline. We'll kind of have that square neckline that has like I said last time, the lovely lady hump. It will be maybe a smidge longer, and then it will have side openings as well. There's a version of this pattern that has these side openings, but I just wanted to see if I could use one pattern, one specific part of the pattern for both of them. Yeah, I think that's it. So I will get started. Yay! Okay, so this pattern ended up needing a bit more changing than last time. So I made that neckline change, I made the bottom edge a little bit pointier, and I added a bit more room to the sides to ensure just a comfy fit for the side lacings. I also made a bit more of a V shape at the back of the neck, and then after cutting out one side, I ran out of fabric. Yeah, the fabric wasn't as wide as I thought it was going to be, so I had to put all the pattern pieces lengthwise, and so I decided to make the sides out of this velvet pillowcase I thrifted a while ago. and then it was time to put the back and front pieces together. Before putting the boning in, I sewed the top seam together, which was much faster than the last time because I was able to put right side to right side instead of top stitching.
Okay, well, okay, I think that's gonna be it for the day. I did want to show some of my plans for tomorrow, just in case I'm wearing pajamas and no makeup. I'm going to do some stitching lines down the front, and I'm thinking it will be with a contrasting thread because there's these really nice areas of like light beige and brown, and I think it'd be nice to bring out those colors. I'll put boning in some of those like rows of stitches. I'll pop up some research examples to show you what I'm kind of going for. Those will have a couple of bones in them on each side, and then I think past that there might just be bones in the seam lines to keep those strong. I think also the front ended up being longer than the back based off of just the way that I changed the designs, which is really great because I would love to make this little V in the front a little bit more pronounced. So all that will be done tomorrow, and then hopefully we'll be done. Cool.
The next day, in my pajamas of course, I reshaped that front point and started putting those contrasting rows of stitches about a ½ inch apart. And I totally am not already listening to Halloween music. Why would you say that? I then needed a break, and for me, the start of fall always makes me really want to bake, so I made some cute cherry ham pies, and if this isn't interesting to you, you could just fast forward by like a minute or two. The last step was putting in the boning at center front in each seam, especially the seams where the lacings were going to go. That just ensures some nice strength. After top stitching the bottom edge and making the eyelets for the lacing, it is now time to show you the finished corsets.
they are finished. Thank you for joining me. Mwah. Those are the two corsets. This is the second side of that pink corset, and even though it was a hassle and a half, I actually really love it. I really thought that the second side was gonna be like, okay, I was gonna use it as an undergarment, but honestly, I really like it. I think I'm gonna wear it as an overgarment too. I love making corsets so much. It is becoming an obsession at this point that I don't plan on fixing. I also think that these corsets will go really well with like pants and more modern outfits, which is always my goal. I like to be able to make things that work with a lot of different outfits. I want to be able to wear them in my closet in everyday life, if at all possible. And I think these two really do it well because they are both so comfortable. Like this one that really only has bones at the seams and that is it. The green one could have definitely used, hello, you're back, hello. The green one could definitely have used more boning for more stability, but honestly, when I tried it on and it was really comfortable, I just couldn't make myself put more boning in it because it looked really cute and it was really comfy. I'll probably just make another one eventually in that style and put more boning in it so I have a more structured one and a more casual one. These feel like very casual corsets, which is the epitome of perfection for me. If I can wear it on a daily basis but still feel like I'm wearing, you know, fantastical garments, perfect world that I live in. Can I just be known as the lady that makes corsets out of things that aren't originally corsets? I enjoy it so much. That is going to be it for me this week. Get ready for some fall and into Halloween content coming up. I am very excited. I think I said this last year. A few years ago, I wasn't such a big Halloween fan, but over the years, I've kind of come to love it in my own way, probably because I watch a lot of Rachel Maxey and she has infiltrated my brain. Well, hello again. I am a scaredy cat, so I like the more like nostalgic version. Thank you so much for sticking around. Oh, sun. Oh, Ali, did you drink too much water?